So in this example, we are going to calculate a GPA, grade point average. And when you calculate a GPA, that's a kind of average that's called weighted because letter grades and the number of credits of each class are going to have different weights, meaning they're going to affect the average more or less depending on what the credits or the grade is. So they're not all an equal amount. So what we're going to do to calculate the GPA is, first of all, we need to assign a value to your letter grade. Now, these values are pretty standard. I'll write them down here. So an A is worth 4 points. A B is worth 3 points. A C is worth 2 points. A D is worth 1 point, and then anything less than a D is 0. This is in your textbook, and it's also, when you look at the question on XYZ, there's a little button you can click on that says values for the grades that you can tap on, and it will give you these values if you forget. So when you get an A, that's worth 4 points. When you get a B, that's worth 3. A C is worth 2, and a D is worth 1. Once you assign your values to your grades, then what you're going to do is you're going to take your weights, which in this case, this is your weight, because this is going to affect, like a 4 credit hour class will be, affect your average more than a 3 or 2 credit hour class. And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to take your credits or your weights and multiply it by the value of your grade. So I'm going to take 4 times 4. That gives me 16. So I'm going to take 5 times 2. That's going to give me 10. Then I'm going to take 3 times 3. That gives me 9. Then I'm going to take 3 times 1. And that gives me 3. Once I find the credits times each of the corresponding grades, then I'm going to add everything up. So I'm going to take 16 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3. That's going to give me 38. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the total number of credits and add them up. So if I take 4 and 5, that's 9. And then plus 3 and 3, that's going to give me 9 and 6, which is 15. Then you take your 38, that's your credits times your value when you add them all up. And then you're going to divide by the number of credits you have. And so I take 38 divided by 15, that's going to give me 2.53 repeating. Now, typically when you calculate a GPA, typically it's 2 places. So if I take 2.53333 repeating and I round it to 2 places, that's going to be 2.53 for my GPA. Now, in this question on XYZ, there are multiple parts, and some of the parts say, well, what would be the difference in the GPA if this grade got switched out for this grade? So you just switch out the grades, recalculate your GPA, and then find the difference between the first GPA and the new GPA. And so that's going to give you a way to practice calculating your GPA. And again, this is a kind of average that's called a weighted average.